So this is kind of fun in hard to reach places. All of a sudden I've got the center of the hole, and then I can go through and say, okay, well, I can really see the human's eye is actually pretty good. I can really see the center of that. I can kill that, and I'm off to the races there. So this is a really neat tool. Big time, guys. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to take a look at my layout bag. Now, I keep this bag with me kind of all the time to do shop fabrication projects. You know, we have a lot of pack out stacks around here. I'm constantly pulling a stack. I'll throw this bag on top of it, and this gives me quick access to all my layout tools when we're getting ready to start building, making, creating. Took a lot of inspiration from Adam Savage. You can go watch his videos on Tested. Same idea. I want to be able to quickly grab the things I need and take them with me. Want to go through some of the things in this bag for you guys today and show you kind of how we work. To do layout, to me, is the most critical step in the whole process. If it's not laid out well, it's, you know, you're not gonna have a good product, a good finished product. And so things that I keep close to me, man, I've got every version of combination square you can imagine. You know, I love combination squares. They allow me to quickly measure, quickly mark out. A lot of them have scribes built in so that, you know, all of a sudden we can measure, we can quickly run a square, we can quickly run a line. And having multiple combination squares is really helpful. I can leave one set up on one measurement, one set up on another measurement, and just switch between them if I'm making multiple of the same parts. So combination square, fundamental kit. Of course, in terms of measuring, I keep a tape measure. I also keep a nice wooden rule. I'm a big fan of the wooden folding rule. You know, for me, a lot of times it's easier to tape measure, especially working in short distances, and I think it's a more accurate measurement if you know how to use it. So a folding rule is another good measuring device. Also, just the regular rules. Sometimes just having rules, metric, decimal, 64th of an inch, 32nd of an inch, all kinds of really precision rules are just nice to be able to work on stuff that maybe you don't want the bulkiness of a combination square and do some fine measuring. Another rule you'll find me use a lot is a hook rule. I love these for taking a quick measurement. It's got a nice hook on it. All of a sudden you know your zero. This one has different gradients on each side of the rule. I've got a little tiny one. Hook rules, fundamental piece. Here's my kind of longer, just straight flat rules. But obviously we're doing a lot of measuring. Now, with all the measuring, the next critical thing comes marking. You know, there's a lot of ways to mark things depending on the material you're using. You know, a lot of people start with a basic Sharpie. That's great, works on a lot of material. Sometimes I need to get a little bit more fine than that. So I keep pencils. I like mechanical pencils. Oh, sorry, that's a scribe. We'll get to that in a second. I like, you know, mechanical pencils. That way I don't have to sharpen all the time. But sometimes you're doing rough framing, carpentry work. A regular pencil's good. For fine marking, mechanical pencil's really good. If I want to get finer than that, I just pull it out. A scribe, that's really great for, you know, maybe I want to, you know, make a really precision line on my aluminum block here. That scribe, just like in the end of this, that'll help me do that. And man, that's a really fine line. So I can do some precision work. So having a scribe's great. Soapstone, you can get this chiseled down to a point. This doesn't destroy the material like the scribe does, and allows me to make pretty fine lines. Really nice. Adam Savage, he's got me turned on to these Pico markers. They make a lot of different kinds. I like their fine hole marker. You can draw a pretty fine line. It's ink. Got them in a lot of different colors. I find myself reaching for these all the time. Sometimes I need something thicker, and they've got a, kind of a thicker version of that. Again, different colors, kind of same idea there. You can't go wrong with silver Sharpies when it comes to marking, and really you just can't have enough tools. I've got paint pens to write things onto things. I like these pens are kind of wax crayons. So if I want to call that, if I've got a part there that I want to call A, and I don't want to mess up the material, whether I'm working with wood or metal, or I've taken them out and marked out big railroad ties, and this is a quick wax crayon. It doesn't come off, really nice. That's another good way to mark. The other thing that I find myself doing constantly is getting rid of drill holes or mill holes and things. And to do that, I've got to be able to mark those holes somehow. And so the center punch is a key part of my layout bag. And with the center punch, I got two options. I've always got a hammer here. That way I can really kind of mark that hole. Nice, get ready to drill. Or if it's soft material, I can use the spring punch. I'm sure a lot of you know what a spring punch are, but having those two options to be able to get me a starter hole with the spring punch and really kill it with the center punch and have the hammer close by, that's critical. One thing that these Pico markers do really good is they're really great for helping me transfer holes. And so a lot of times they've got, they call it their deep hole marker, but I can take it and trace around the inside of the hole. Man, how good is that? All of a sudden, I've really got that hole taken care of. Another fun tool for transferring that hole is these little, chalk, they call them chalk shots. And essentially, all of a sudden, boom, this self-centers on the device on the piece with the hole, and then gives you a center point of chalk. So this is kind of fun in hard to reach places. All of a sudden I've got the center of the hole, and then I can go through and say, okay, well, I can really see, the human's eye is actually pretty good. I can really see the center of that, I can kill that, and I'm off to the races there. So this is a really neat tool. I also keep transfer punches. Transfer punches allow you, same idea, that I've got kind of the set of 50 transfer punches, but this is a universal transfer punch. And what it allows you to do is it has a spring in it and a conical head, and you can put it in your hole, give it a little whack, and all of a sudden you're transferred for your starter, and then I come back through and I kill it with my big center punch. So this and the smaller one are indispensable. We're always marking things, getting holes laid out. So having two sides of these, the other transfer punches are great, but I find them to kind of get strewn all over the shop. Other things I keep in my bag, you're always dealing with angles. This is a bevel gauge. This can help me find an angle on a piece. It's an indispensable. It can help me match an angle. It can help me bisect an angle. This is an indispensable piece I keep around. Other kind of unique things that I keep with me close by is a set of dividers. This is really great for dividing hole spacing, acting as a compass. This particular set, you can put a pencil in, or you can use the scribe in to make arcs, circles, compass, or do hole patterning. Dividers are a key thing. If you don't know how to use dividers, we'll do a special video on dividers, but I definitely keep a set in here. What else is in my bag here? I know it's a marking bag. I always keep Loctite with me. I just wanted to, this bag is the closest thing I have when I'm fabricating. I always want to have Loctite with me because a lot of time we're doing assemblies, we're bolting stuff on the truck. Loctite is in the bag. A small torpedo level is really useful. Just to, for whatever reason, I find myself reaching for this. If I'm trying to get a quick part level on something, if I'm trying to level out a drill press table, this is really nice to kind of keep in my bag here. This bag really holds a lot, which is why I like it. Other things that I keep in my bag, I keep some WD-40. I use that sometimes when I'm quickly drilling aluminum. I use this for coolant and lubrication on the aluminum. And then another interesting thing, and I kind of took this from Adam Savage too, is I keep some super glue in my bag and this accelerant. If you haven't watched the tested videos on super glue and accelerant, I definitely recommend them. But oftentimes I can't hold the parts how I need them, and so I just put a little bit of super glue, I hit them with accelerant, and then I can get a part right where I need it to either do the measuring, marking, drilling, whatever I need to do. So this stays in the bag as well. That's the majority of the bag, but having all this not in a toolbox, not 100 feet away from me when I'm working on projects is really nice. And being able to just kind of throw this in my truck if I'm gonna go work on a project at a friend's house, to do all my marking, measuring, layout, perfect bag. Hope you enjoyed this look at my measuring and marking bag. Thank you very much, big time guys. Like and subscribe.